Welcome to this month's social media makeover, and I am making over the Pinterest boards of Debbie Maddie, who is a social media onlineclasses.com student who is a quilt designer, teacher, and founder of her own business. And she asked me to take a look at her Pinterest boards and offer some feedback. And so here we're on Debbie's Pinterest account, and you can see that she's got 41 boards and 632 pins. She's got 29 likes, which is really good. She's got a lot of followers, and you can see that she has far more followers than people that she's following. That's always a good sign that you have influence. And so Debbie is doing a really good job. Her Pinterest boards are beautiful, and she's got a variety here. Even though her business is quilting, she has a wide variety of boards. Some are about fabric, jewelry, just things that she loves, inspiring quotes, cool stuff just for fun, recipes, and she's got some great titles here. So she's doing a really good job with her Pinterest boards. I do have some suggestions for improvement, and mostly that has to do with how she can drive business from her Pinterest page. Now, looking at her boards, it's difficult to figure out exactly what Debbie's products are here. She's got a link to her website and to her Facebook page, which is fantastic. But what I'm not seeing is anything like my quilts, my patterns. I want to see something that says what Debbie's business is and shows it here on Pinterest. Now she does have a board here called Quilts I Love, and when you click on this, it will show you a variety of quilts, which include her patterns, but also quilts that she just likes. But you cannot tell here which are which. I can't tell here which are Debbie's quilts and which are ones that she just really likes. Now, the ones that are Debbie's quilts are these right here. I looked on her website and looked to see which ones were hers. But you'll notice here, she's got a good description here, Modern Art with Fabric, her company name, and her name. But the link here doesn't say her website. It says webstorequiltropolis.net. Now, that's a little confusing. And so when I click on this, what it does is it takes me to the cover of this pattern. But again, it's kind of hard. It says web store at Quiltropolis. So a lot of people, I think, probably wouldn't click on that because they think they're going immediately to a store and not Debbie's website. But actually, if you click on it, it does take you to Debbie's website. And so here you get more information, and you can click to view additional images that are in the pattern and in the book. So she's doing a great job here on her website, but it's not really apparent on her Pinterest board. So here is what I recommend for Debbie. For this particular pattern, or for each of her patterns, I recommend making one Pinterest board for each of her patterns. And for this one, I would call it, you could call the board Modern Art with Fabric. You could call it, contemporary. This is a contemporary pattern. It's designed to go with a contemporary fabric. And so you could put that in the description. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. But the reason I recommend that you have an entire board is that you can include these additional images right there on Pinterest. And I would also say something like, click on the image to go to my website and see more photos or a longer description. And there's also a recent study shown that Pinterest pins that you can buy from that have a dollar figure attached to them actually get more clicks than pins that don't. So it's worth experimenting here for Debbie by putting a price in here. And all she has to do is in the description add the price, and you would do that with a dollar figure. So whatever her price is, let's see, $20. If she puts this on her Pinterest description, it will put a little diagonal tag here, banner with the price, and she'll get more clicks for it. The other thing that I think that Debbie can do here is do a little bit of search engine optimization. And what I mean by that, you don't have to be an SEO geek to do this, but there are a few things that Debbie can do here to really increase how visible her patterns are. Now they're already going to be very visible because you can see this board right here already has 496 followers. And the more followers you have, generally to your Pinterest account and to your boards, the more visibility they'll see. But the big thing for visibility is to get repins. When somebody repins your quilt or your board, you're going to, that immediately puts it in front of all of my followers on Pinterest. And so that is something that you really want to work to get, are repins. And so there's a couple ways that you do that. One is with a contest. And contests are really big on Pinterest, and have a contest where people repin. And that's something that will definitely get you a lot more visibility. But another way that you can do it is with search engine optimization. And that's simply figuring out what keywords people use to search for your products and use those in your descriptions. Now, there's no kind of search engine search tool for Pinterest. However, you can use Google's keyword tool to figure out what keywords people use to search for quilting patterns. Now, Debbie specializes in patterns that are easy for beginners, and you can see that if you go to her website and to her home page. She's got quilt designs here, and she's got everything is easy, a lot of simple techniques, and you can see that as you go through her website. She uses a lot of the words easy, simple, so she focuses on things that are very simple and for beginners. And so I'm going to go to the Google keyword tool here. And anyone can use this. Again, you don't have to be a super geek to do this. You don't have to be an SEO person to know how to do this. And so I'm going to end up at the Google keyword tool. And here are a couple ways that Debbie can use this. The first one is by putting in the URL of her website. And I clicked off of that, so I'm going to go here again and go to her home page. And I'm going to copy this and paste it into this Google keyword tool right here where it says website. I'm going to paste Debbie's website name, click on only show ideas that are closely related to this, because otherwise you get a lot of junk. And you want to click on search. And it's automatically going to show you ad group ideas. I'm not interested in doing an ad, but I do want to see keyword ideas. Here are an awful lot, 79 different keyword ideas. We want to immediately hone in on the most popular one, and so we want to do local monthly searches. Local means the United States, and you can see here that there are over 2 million searches for things like quilt to quilt, quilts, 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 things like that. But what I recommend for Debbie is that she really hone in on the type of patterns that she does, which is easy quilt, quilt for a beginner, beginner quilt, simple quilt patterns. Those are the things that are going to get her the best opportunities for visibility for people who are targeted to her audience. She also does star quilts. You can see there's a star quilt here that has low competition and high searches, 49,000 searches a month, and low competition, which means not many other people are using these keywords. So that's an excellent opportunity for Debbie. So what I would do is search for things that have local monthly high searches but low competition. And you can see here why seams. You know, there could be somebody who's, people look for those things. And so those are all things Debbie needs to go through here and look for things that have low search competition but high volume. And simple quilt blocks is something that has one of the highest search volumes, and Quilt Star. So those are the kinds of descriptions that Debbie needs to put into her Pinterest boards and descriptions. And so right here, this is called the Ashley pattern, but Debbie has an opportunity to actually call this something that will get her higher visibility. This is a star quilt block, and so she can put quilt star pattern, and in the description she can add a lot more information here, that it's the Ashley pattern, the price, you know, very simple pattern. You can put an awful lot of information here in a Pinterest description. Let's recap here the things that I'm recommending for Debbie. She has an excellent start already, but she definitely needs to add prices to her board and pin descriptions. She also needs to use keywords in her pin and board names. Add more photos for each pattern, and create a board for each pattern with additional photos. And I think all of those things are things that will really help Debbie. Also add a call to action for each pin saying click to see more photos and description. And you know, you don't want to do a hard sell on Pinterest, but these are things that people are looking for on Pinterest. And so by including those and separating them out from just quilts I love and putting it at the very top, I would recommend that Debbie put it in the top row, her quilt boards, or at least have them all together. She could do them on the second row, but just so they're visible and so people don't have to scroll down.